Quitting your job for business. Have you done it or are you thinking about doing it? If so, this video is for you, and these are things that you're going to want to do immediately. And I only wish someone had done a video like this for me when I was quitting my job, because it would have made it far easier and more streamlined. So stick around. Number one, emotions, how to deal with them. When you quit your job, you are going to go through so many emotions. Imposter syndrome, self-doubt. Is it worth it? Oh my God, is this going to work? And should I go get another job because now I'm in the big wide world of entrepreneurship on my own? It feels lonely because you go from a workplace where perhaps you're working with 10, 20, 30, 40 people, and now you're on your own thinking, oh my God, I've got to fend for myself. I've got to make me and my family money. I've got to pay bills. I'm responsible. I've got to be accountable. All of these emotions hit you at once when you walk out that workplace door and you fire your boss. I remember getting home and thinking, Aaron, you're on your own now. You got to do all of it. And I was fine with that. Like, I don't mind the pressure. I like a challenge, but there's so many emotions and you just really have to take a step back and remind yourself why you did it. Remember, there's so many problems in the corporate world. Being told what to do, asking permission for a day off, the politics, the drama, the ceiling of pay, the ceiling of growth. You know, remind yourself why you went on this business journey, and you know, entrepreneurship is to get away from that. So just tap back into that. The self-doubt will also creep in. Can you really do this? Because as we all know, business and entrepreneurship, it's so hard. It's definitely one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's so worth it because I feel and I believe that the grass is greener. But just learn and understand that all the emotions that you're going to feel and questioning, should I go get another job? Totally normal. Just take a step back, because you're going to have to readjust to this new life, and it's all normal. So everything you're going to feel, I promise you, don't think that you're an odd one out and you know, you're now questioning whether you can do it. You can, I promise you, totally normal. The second thing, which is really important, which you should have already done, but if you haven't, you really need to listen to what I'm saying to you right now. The importance of money management. The cash flow that you're generating through potential clientele that you've already got at the moment, or the money that you've already got saved, you should have an emergency fund of at least 6 months minimum, ideally 12 months of all of your expenses. You really need to live like a pauper. Live well within your means, live very frugally, and the money that you make or the money you have set aside, do not squander it. Make sure that you're reinvesting into the business, so you're putting growth money in. And I would say, just get comfortable with this. Please listen and take this on board, like seriously. For the next 12 to 24 months, live like a poor person and just don't spend anything that you don't need to. Cut back on direct debits, have a chat with your partner, your family members, whoever you need to, and just let them know, look, we are gonna have to go through quite a bit of pain financially for the next potentially 2 years, where we don't have any expensive holidays, we have to get rid of the finance car, we've got to make the cutbacks in order for this business to work, so that in 2, 3, 4 years time, we can get it all back and we can have such a better life, you know, because we'll be in a better financial position. You really need to learn to control your emotions when it comes to money. Even if your business starts doing well, something where people fail is they start making their first 3K month, 4K month, 5, 10, 15K month, if you're lucky enough and your business can do that. People then go and spend that money. So they make it comes in, but it goes out the door just as quick as it came in. Don't be that person. Remember, the goal in life is time freedom, abundance. Just like me right now, 2:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, I'm doing this video, then I'm gonna pick up my son, I've been to the gym, I've had some nice food, I'm going home. I'm not bothered about looking flashy or anything like that. There's people walking around. I'm not bothered about anyone or anything. I have time freedom and I'm doing something that I love. Remember that. It's about time freedom, making memories, and not being stuck in the corporate world. It's not about having the flashiest car or a Rolex on your arm. Just remember that. So as your earnings go up, do not let your spending go up. Time allocation. This is a big one, very overwhelming for many people, something that I help people process and restructure. Think about it. You've been spending 180 hours on average, 40 hours a week, for an employer. You've been working on your business as and when you can, 5, 6, 7 hours extra a week, whatever it might be. You quit your job, or you're just about to, and you're gonna get 40 hours back every single week. 180 hours will be coming back to you immediately. How do you manage that emotion of, oh my God, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I've got all these hours. How do I allocate them? So there's a few things to address here. Number one is that you need to be so structured and disciplined. This is something that I've always kind of had built in me automatically, where you start pushing yourself even harder. You have to go all in on your time. You don't have time to spare. Time is of the essence. This isn't 180 hours now to prat about doing whatever. You need to go all in. Early mornings, late nights. Again, just think for the next 1 to 2 years, there's no time off. You have to go all in on these hours. Like, take it super seriously. Don't slack off. I've seen it too many times where people quit their jobs and they're like, I'll chill for the first week. That's all right. I'll go out with the boys, with the girls, go for a coffee. It's tomorrow. You know, I can do it tomorrow. I've got enough money in the bank. I've got a client at the moment, so I'll do it at the weekend. You have to take it seriously, and you almost have to fear. Imagine you have no money and you have no clients. You have to live in constant like panic. Like, that's, you don't have to, but that's kind of the way that I think about it. It keeps me on my toes and it keeps me hungry. And I imagine if it all dried up tomorrow and I had no clients, what would I do? So you've got to be on your A game. The second part of that is, once you've got your discipline and structure, is the allocation of those hours. Too many people feel overwhelmed that it's not working, there's no point, and they're not progressing, simply of the bottleneck that they're not doing things in the right order. They're doing low value tasks at prime times of the day, at peak times of the day, instead of high value tasks, big needle moving tasks. So for example, they start prattling about in the morning doing Canva designs, little piddly bits, little like write-ups, things that you don't need to be doing. The most important thing that you do first thing in the morning, or whenever you wake up, should be early by the way, is business growth stuff. Marketing, outbounding, lead generation, follow-ups, call to action content. It has to be stuff that is going to generate cash flow. And then as you start to unwind throughout the day and you start to get tired, then you can do lower value tasks. But you have to understand your new body clock and what you need to do in a priority order, going to secondary and then third, and then kind of just general to-dos that you can tick off as you go. But it must be priority tasks first. And I would just suggest keep things super simple. Like, I literally manage my entire day on a pen and paper. And every evening I literally get a pen and I draw a line down the middle of an A4 bit of paper and I put priorities and secondaries, and then I put time allocation. And you should be time blocking everything. So you should be accountable and responsible enough to make sure that when you're setting yourself tasks and meetings, that you have actual time slots, that they're not just open, because then you just do them willy-nilly. You need to say, right, this meeting is from 7 till 7:15. Then I have an appointment, then I need to do content creation, then a live stream, outbounding, and all of them have 15-minute blocks, 20-minute blocks. You shouldn't be doing things, in my opinion, shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Now, outsourcing, this is something you must do, and this is why you need a budget and why you need to money manage. In school, we were told to work on our weaknesses. No, it doesn't work like that in business. Outsource your weaknesses and double down on your strengths. Get a video editor, get a videographer, get a sales progressor. Whatever your budget allows for the things that you don't need to be doing, outsource them immediately. Don't go out for curries, Italian meals, at restaurants. Stop spending money on fancy trainers. Those 90 quids, the £100, $150, $200, whatever you can save, that needs to be going into building a team that can help you grow that much quicker. I now have 2 editors that do different things. I have a thumbnail editor, I have a VA, I'm onboarding a sales progressor. That's for my personal brand and my company. And then for peak performance, we have people that do different things. We don't work on our weaknesses, we just work on our strengths, and we outsource everything else. Because you need to work out what you are worth per hour. And if you're doing a task which is less than what you're worth per hour, you shouldn't be doing it. So outsource as much as you can. Networking, super important. It's going to be lonely, it's going to be stressful, and it's going to be full of pressures. And you're going to need to tap into people who are in a similar situation at all different stages. So you need other business owners that are 10 years in business, 5 years, just starting, so that you can reach out to people. One of the biggest mistakes that new entrepreneurs and business owners who have just quit the job is that they don't ever ask for help, because it's kind of like a pride thing and you don't want to be seen as weak. Forget about that. Put your hand up, ask for help. The brilliant thing about entrepreneurship is so many people are willing to help you. Unlike employment, you know, it's backstabbing, it's everyone out for themselves, dog eat dog. In employment, don't see it as being weak. Get a part of a mastermind group, a community online or in person, network with people, you know, nurture those relationships. Make sure you're topping up other people's buckets before you ask to take from theirs. And don't be ashamed to put your hand up and say, I haven't got the answer. I don't know what to do. Could someone please help me? But just remember, don't take the P. You know, there's a lot of people that have taken the P with me. I love helping people, but you know, it's like question after question after question after question. They're not topping up my bucket. They're just take. So just be mindful that if someone is ahead of you in the game of business and you're asking for help, great, but see how you can help them out as well. Really important, but always build on your network. Super important. Say no more. This is super easy for me. I've never had a problem with this, but I know some people struggle to say no. I don't know why, but some people do. You can't go out socializing all the time. Again, for the next 1 to 2 years, which is going to be your most challenging and testing years, say no to people. No, I can't come out for that engagement party. No, I can't keep coming out for a coffee every week just to have a general chit chat about the news and things that we don't care about. Again, we have to value time because that's what it's about. Say no more. Oh, do you want to come on a lad's holiday or a girl's holiday? You know, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do this? You can't be operating or thinking like an employee that has 5 days of work and then you get 2 days off. I know it's not what you want to hear, but for the next up to 2 years, you need to be working 6 days minimum every single day. You know, you don't need to be doing 10-hour shifts, but you need to be putting in smart hours across potentially 6 and 7 days. That's just the truth of it. If you want this so badly and you want a bright and successful and financially secure and time freedom future, put the work in now. Remember, 5 years of suffering for 50 years of freedom. Or you can kind of tinker and play this game of entrepreneurship and this might not work out for you. This isn't a game you want to play. This is the game you want to win, right? You've got to go all in. Do not have a plan B. Educate and apply the information every week. Make sure when you're driving, you're listening to Audible books. If you're on the train going into London or I don't know where you're based or your biggest city centre and you've got meetings, listen to a podcast, listen to a book. You know, I wouldn't say read a book because it takes up time too much. You want to, go on the treadmill and listen to a book. You have to evolve and educate. The world moves incredibly quick. Business moves so fast. AI is moving quicker than we can keep up. It's really important and it's critical for you to survive and thrive and not to be wiped out by competitors, that you do not bury your head in the sand and that you are learning, but most importantly, that you are applying that information that you learn. Because if you don't learn and then you're not applying, you're falling behind, you're burying your head in the sand and then your business gets wiped out. So just make sure that you're getting the books in, you're listening to podcasts, you're going to networking meetings. Never be the smartest person in the room. And the reason I say that is because you always want to be around other people that are doing 5, 10x, whatever you're up to. Like, you want to make sure you're around successful people. Again, get a part of a mental community of some sort. Now, finally, working out. Why do I feel it's so important for you to take your fitness seriously? Well, because everything is downstream from fitness. Your mindset, your resilience, your rebound time, your outlook, your positivity. The people that you are around in a gym are typically those who look after themselves and have high levels of discipline and normally talk about positive things. So I find it really important that if you want to be super successful and you don't just want to be average, make sure that you're working out. It's something that's really important to me. And it's also good structure. Like, I do a 2-day split. So, sorry, not a 2-day split. I do a 2 workout split. So in the morning, I do my cardio. And what that does for me is it allows me to think clearly. I listen to a book. I can reply to emails. I can reply to WhatsApp. I can get my head in gear. I can make notes, all these kind of things. I'm releasing endorphins, I'm getting a good dopamine hit, and I'm almost ready to take on the day no matter what comes my way. And also, just a side note, when you work for yourself and you haven't got other people to, pass the buck on to or point the finger and blame, you become a full-time problem solver. You have to solve problems every single day. And if you're looking after yourself, you do become more resilient physically and mentally. So the bigger the problems, it's not so bad. So you can deal with those pressures and stresses that you will face, by the way. So look, this is kind of all the things that you're going to go through. They're the inevitable. You can't avoid them. And again, I hope you've taken a lot away from this, and that you do the things that I've just said immediately, and that you apply them and you listen to what I've said, because it will help your journey if you're just about to quit or you've already quit. So until next time, at the end of this video, there is the Quit Your Job and Build Your Online Business full course tutorial. Loads of stuff in there that will help you be successful so you can survive and thrive. And until next time, do let me know in the comments what you resonated with most, or what you're going to personally apply. I love to hear what people have taken away from it, but most importantly, what they're actually going to action. And also, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button if you did like the video. Until next time, I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.